Be honest. Have you ever asked yourself, why do I always fall for the wrong person? You tell yourself you'll do better next time, but somehow it happens again. The truth is, it's not about bad luck or poor choices. It's something deeper, hidden inside your psychology. And once you understand it, everything about your love life changes. You know that feeling when you're lying awake at 3 a.m., replaying every moment with someone who hurt you, asking yourself, how did I not see this coming? Yeah, I've been there too. And here's the truth that nobody wants to hear. You didn't fall for the wrong person by accident. Your brain actually set you up for it, and today I'm going to explain exactly why. Before we dive in real quick, if you've ever found yourself in a relationship that felt familiar but toxic, or if you keep dating the same type of person with a different face, this video is going to hit different. So stick around, because by the end, you're going to understand yourself in a way you never have before. Let's start with something that's going to sound wild, but stay with me. Your unconscious mind is attracted to what feels like home, not what feels healthy. And if home wasn't a safe place emotionally, your brain literally wires itself to seek out that same emotional climate in your adult relationships. It's called repetition compulsion, and it's one of the most powerful forces in relationship psychology. Basically, you're not looking for someone who makes you happy. You're unconsciously looking for someone who makes you feel the way you felt growing up, even if that feeling was painful. Think about it. If you grew up having to earn love, always proving yourself, always trying to be enough, guess who you're going to be magnetically drawn to as an adult? Someone emotionally unavailable, someone you have to chase, someone who makes you work for their attention. Not because you're broken, but because that pattern is written into your nervous system. It feels right because it feels familiar, and your brain interprets familiar as safe, even when it's anything but. And here's where it gets even deeper. A lot of us are walking around with what psychologists call attachment wounds. Maybe you had a parent who was inconsistent, loving one day and cold the next. Maybe you learned early on that love is conditional, that you have to be perfect to be worthy. So now, when someone shows up who's hot and cold, who gives you just enough attention to keep you hooked but never enough to feel secure, your whole system lights up. Not because this person is right for you, but because they're triggering that old wound. And somewhere deep inside, you think if you can just get this person to love you consistently, you'll finally heal that childhood pain. But here's the thing, you can't heal an old wound with a new person who's causing the same injury. That's like trying to fix a broken bone by breaking it again in the same place. It doesn't work, and yet we do it over and over because we don't realize what's happening. We think we just have bad luck in love. We think we're just not good at picking partners. But the truth is, we're actually incredibly skilled at picking partners. We're just picking them based on the wrong criteria. Let me tell you what's really happening on a psychological level. When you meet someone who fits your unconscious blueprint for love, your brain releases a cocktail of chemicals, dopamine, oxytocin, all the feel-good stuff. But when that person is inconsistent or emotionally unavailable, you get what's called intermittent reinforcement. It's the same psychological principle that makes gambling addictive. You don't know when the next win is coming, so your brain becomes obsessed with getting it. Every text back feels like a victory. Every moment of attention feels like you've finally cracked the code. And that uncertainty, that anxiety, your brain actually mistakes it for passion, for intensity, for deep connection. Meanwhile, when you meet someone who's actually stable, who's consistent, who shows up for you every single time, your brain is like, this is boring. Where's the challenge? Where's the drama? Because your nervous system has been conditioned to associate love with anxiety, with uncertainty, with having to prove yourself. Calm, steady love doesn't trigger that familiar pattern, so it doesn't feel like love at all. It feels like friendship, like something's missing, like there's no spark. But that spark you're looking for, that's not passion. That's trauma. That's your nervous system recognizing a familiar danger and lighting up with adrenaline. And I know this is hard to hear, but you need to understand something crucial. The people you keep falling for, they're not villains in your story. They're just playing the role that your unconscious mind cast them in. You're not a victim of bad people. You're stuck in a pattern, and patterns can be changed once you see them clearly. So what do you do with all this? How do you break the cycle? First, you have to grieve. You have to grieve the childhood you deserved but didn't get. You have to grieve the love you needed but didn't receive. Because until you acknowledge that loss, you're going to keep trying to get it from people who can't give it to you. Second, you have to rewire your nervous system to recognize that safety and boredom are not the same thing. When someone is consistent, when they show up, when they're available, and your brain says, "This is boring," you need to pause and ask yourself, or is this just unfamiliar? Is this what healthy actually feels like, and I just don't recognize it? Third, and this is the big one, you have to stop trying to heal yourself through another person. Your healing is your responsibility. Not in a harsh way, but in an empowering way. Nobody can fix what was broken in you as a child. Not the perfect partner, not unconditional love from someone else, nobody. That work is yours to do. Therapy, self-reflection, learning about your attachment style, understanding your patterns, that's how you heal. And when you do that work, when you actually heal those wounds instead of just trying to soothe them with another person, something magical happens. You stop being attracted to the wrong people. Not because you're forcing yourself, but because they genuinely stop appealing to you. Your nervous system recalibrates. What once felt like passion now feels like chaos. What once felt boring now feels like peace. And peace, real peace, is the foundation for real love. I want you to understand something that changed my life when I finally got it. Falling for the wrong person isn't a character flaw. It's not proof that you're damaged or unlovable or destined to be alone. It's actually evidence that you're human, that you're trying to solve something, that some part of you is still reaching for the healing you deserve. The problem is just that you've been looking for it in the wrong place. You've been trying to get from another person what you can only give yourself: acceptance, security, the deep knowing that you're enough exactly as you are. So if you're watching this and you're in a situation right now where you know deep down that this person isn't right for you, but you can't seem to walk away, I want you to ask yourself one question. What am I really afraid of losing? Because I promise you, it's not this person. It's the hope that if they finally choose you, if they finally see you, if they finally love you the way you deserve, then you'll finally be okay. But here's the truth. You're already okay. You've always been okay. You just need to believe it yourself before you can find someone who reflects that back to you. The wrong people will keep showing up in your life until you learn the lesson they're here to teach you. And that lesson isn't about them. It's about you, about your worth, about what you're willing to accept, about understanding that you deserve more than crumbs of affection from someone who can't give you a full meal. You deserve consistency. You deserve effort. You deserve someone who doesn't make you question where you stand. And you'll find that person, but only after you stop settling for less because less feels familiar. So here's what I want you to do. Take a moment right now and think about your last few relationships or situationships or whatever you want to call them. Look for the pattern. What keeps showing up? Emotional unavailability? Inconsistency? Someone who needs fixing? Someone who's always got one foot out the door? Whatever it is, that's your clue. That's the wound that's asking to be healed. And once you see it, you can't unsee it. And that's when everything changes. You don't fall for the wrong person by accident. You fall for them because some part of you is trying to rewrite an old story, trying to get a different ending this time. But the only way to actually get a different ending is to stop reading from the same script. Write a new story, one where you're not trying to earn love, where you're not trying to prove your worth, where you simply exist as you are and that's enough. Because it is. You are enough. You've always been enough. And the right person will see that immediately. They won't make you wonder. They won't make you chase. They'll just show up consistently and love you for exactly who you are. If this video resonated with you, if something I said made you feel seen or understood, do me a favor and hit that like button. Drop a comment below and tell me what pattern you're working on breaking. Let's support each other in this journey because healing isn't meant to be done alone. And if you want more videos about relationships, psychology, and understanding why we do what we do in love, subscribe to this channel because I'm here creating content to help you break free from these cycles and find the love you actually deserve. Not the love you're used to, but the love you deserve. There's a difference, and you're about to discover it.